On reaching St Petersburg, we thought of visiting the summer park. The summer park was 2.5 kilometers away from the hostel, so we thought of walking till there. And while we were walking towards the summer park, we fell in love with the city. We absolutely loved the architecture style of the city, and all the buildings seemed to be more than hundreds of years old and still very well maintained in the city. So this is the summer park. It is a very beautiful place, full of greenery, situated on the banks of the Neva river. While we were at the summer park, it started raining and we had to head back to our hostels. We came to know from the locals that the weather in St. Petersburg is quite unpredictable. So this is the next day. On this day we were watching the match between Switzerland and Sweden. In the morning we thought of doing some sightseeing. So we went to the Winter Palace. This palace was the residence of the Russian monarchs till 1917, and now it is restored and it is called the Hermitage Museum. We did not go inside because there was a long queue and we are not really museum person, but if you love museums, you should definitely go inside because this is considered as world's one of the best museums. Sculptures on the walls of the buildings in the museum complex. There we headed towards the Peter and Paul fortress. This is how old buildings are maintained in St. Petersburg. If you look at it in a map, you will know that the fortress is actually like in River Island on the Neva River. This is a cathedral inside the fortress. It is called the St. Peter's and Paul Cathedral. The fortress also had a prison. It is sometimes called the Russian Bastille. Maxim Gorky was imprisoned over here for a brief period. What you just saw is the bathhouse and excise yard for the prison. This looked like a chimney to us, but not sure what it really was. This is where the cannons were mounted on the walls of the fortress. Creative way to utilize old buses. They turned it into toilets. other side of the fortress, and here we could see artilleries of the Russian army on display. This is a private helicopter service that takes you around the city for 15 minutes, and it costs approximately 5,000 rubles. The pickup and drop point is just behind the fortress. So it was just few hours to the match, so we were heading toward the stadium, looking for the nearest metro station. This looked like an old ship on the bank of Neva River, but it was actually a restaurant, and it also had a gym inside. While heading towards the metro, we came upon the team hotel of the Switzerland team. We waited there for quite some time, but the team did not come out, so we headed towards the stadium. Just after getting out of the metro station, we saw this. The stadium complex looked straight out of a science fiction movie. The bridge and the stadium itself. The stadium seemed to be like a UFO just landed on Earth. The view of the river from the stadium was also very beautiful. While heading towards the stadium gate, we realized that there were a lot of Indians who had come to see the match. We also met a group of Pakistani football fans over here. Here is the kickoff. Honestly, we were not very excited about the match because we were expecting Germany to qualify for the pre-quarterfinals, but they did not, unfortunately. But we got to see some good football from both the teams. Also, the atmosphere of the stadium was remarkable. None of the team really dominated the game, but towards the end of the match, Sweden scored the only goal of the match to win the game. The final action of the match and the final whistle. Sweden fans celebrating the victory of their team. Then we saw these amazing drummers in the stadium complex. At first we thought that they are Sweden fan, but later we realized that they are street performers. From there we headed towards the free shuttle service provided by the FIFA. As always, the volunteers were very helpful. We took this shuttle and the metro to reach our hostel. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching.